pigs here in front of us. Oh, whalers, well, whalers will just place them in here. Off! Off! Now there's tens of thousands of people just like myself right across Australia, New Zealand, America, you know, Papua New Guinea, that love chasing wild pigs. And don't get me wrong, I can see the damage that wild pigs do, but I can also see the enjoyment that people get out of hunting wild pigs. Now, a guy had a go at me recently. He said, "You couldn't be suggesting ever, Clark, that we could be sustainably managing wild pigs." And I said, well, it is possible. And they just ridiculed me. This was at actually a sustainable use convention. And I said, my daughter-in-law, who I love dearly, is from Papua New Guinea. The people of PNG trade in wild pigs a lot of the time. It is one of their currencies. They sustainably manage wild pigs up there. That's what they've done for thousands of years. Other island groups, they do the same thing. It can be done. I'm not saying it can be done here in Australia. It would be a huge problem to try and even start. But you don't throw the concept out. When you label something straight away as a pest, and that's what has been done intentionally by government, by security, because they don't want to manage the wild pigs or the deer or anything else. They want to manage us. Okay, so as soon as you accept that pest mantra, they've got you. They've got you. They've got you on a lead. You're actually one of their lapdogs. Throw out that pest mantra. Now, people having a go at me. There's one bloke on the site there was saying, "Oh, Clark will be the death of hunting in this country." Oh, you're welcome to your own opinion. I'm trying to keep it alive, and the way to keep it alive is to open your bloody eyes. And what the trouble is at the moment, people don't see the issues there, especially here in Queensland. If landowners say no more, no hunting, there's no hunting. That's it. We're finished. Okay. There's so many in the old guard, in the old groups that are saying, we're doing landowners a service. We're assisting these landowners. And true, in a lot of cases, good recreational hunters are a big assistance to landowners. They do a damn good job. But for every guy and gal that really knows their stuff, we've got new people coming along that really don't know. Some of them don't know which end of the rifle goes bang yet. Okay? So they've got a long way to go. For them to come out of the middle of Brisbane and they've just got their gun licence and they come up to a landowner and say, we're going to assist you to control, say, something like wild pigs. Yeah, you reckon? That landowner has probably killed more pigs with his bare hands than those people have ever even seen watching movies. Crazy. This is what gets me. As a professional hunter for my whole life, I have seen tens of thousands of deer slaughtered. I have seen tens of thousands of pigs slaughtered. I've taken part in that for years. But I've also tried to utilise them every chance I got, especially the wild deer, to try and make them an asset. Because the way I look at it, if you've got a landowner here and he can produce, say, 50 double six, let's just use it as an example, a 12-point stag as a classic. Let's say he can produce 100 double sixes on his land per year. We've got no problems getting recreational hunters that will take those 100 deer. And now if they're prepared to pay a fair price, all of a sudden that becomes a sustainable rural product for that landowner. It is a primary product. And they'll do it again the next year and the next year and the next year. And the landowner will soon learn that if he has too many deer on their property, they won't have 100 big heads to take for the year. So they've got to moderate and manage their female numbers. They'll realise that they've got to keep the quality up. So they'll work out a system to get rid of the lesser genetics, the cull animals, and bring up the better animals. Okay? If they charge too much and the guy next door is offering the same product at a fair price, guess what? That's free enterprise. Okay? This guy will go broke and the other one will get all the hunters. That is the essence of business. You've got to meet the market. So the more people that got into sustainable management of wild deer, and the more people that could offer 50 fallow bucks here, 100 red deer there, 20 red deer there, somewhere else, 100 rooster, 50 rooster a year, 50 chittle a year, all these things on different properties, it will meet the market. And the prices may go up, but then they will come down to what is a fair level, what people are able to pay. And the landowners can look at those animals as a resource. If you don't have that, do you think the landowners need us to control species like wild pigs or deer? You're kidding yourself. If you think you're this great assistance to landowners, they are better off putting in a pig trap and catching 50 pigs in a night. This trap I'll show you here, and another one just like it, have accounted for over 400 pigs in that area. And they've shot them all in the head with a 22 Magnum when they've caught them and dragged them away to a bone pile. They didn't put recreational hunters in there because all the recreational hunters would do is catch one or two big boars and chase the other ones back into the scrub where they'd still breed and cause the problem. So landowners would much prefer to trap pigs if they are just wanting to get rid of them. I won't get too close because this big fella will take on this thing big time. So we better shoot him and get him out of there. Right. And this is what a lot of hunters need to get in their heads, that in most circumstances now, landowners don't really need recreational hunters on their properties. If they're worried about insurance, if they're worried about litigation, and they can get hold of good traps like this, they can get hold of poison baits, they can get council assistance, whatever else, or bring in a professional hunter, they'd rather do that than bring in recreational hunters. Now, a lot of the talking heads out there will have a go at me, say, oh, you're trying to, look after your own business. Bullshit, all right? I'm out there, my whole life has been dedicated to recreational hunters as a guide, okay? I've wanted to see more recreational hunters in the bush doing the right thing. But you just can't seem to get in your heads that if you don't work with the landowners and have them want you on their property, there's plenty of other options, okay? Chopper shoots. I talked to a guy yesterday there that they did 2 runs in his area. They shot 300 and something pigs in the first run. They shot 400 and something in the second run with a helicopter. This is, per day that they're taking. They get instant results. They get the animals down, all the pigs, not just the big boars, all the pigs, right? Wake up to yourself, please people, because if you get the landowners offside, or if the landowners think you're a risk, they'll use this sort of system rather than recreational hunters, okay? And the whole thing winds up. If the hunter is seen as an asset, they will keep animals there for the hunter. Now, you look at the biosecurity doctrine, the writings, the Biosecurity Act and all their prelim study papers and discussion papers, they all make it very clear that they recognise that if you put a value on that wildlife, landowners will tend to keep them. That's exactly what they don't want. They do not want landowners to keep them. They want landowners to drop numbers down to the lowest possible number, and if possible, eradicate. Listen, people, there's no area in there for recreational hunting if they do that. Wake up to yourselves. So the people that are having a snipe at me saying, oh, McGhee's just trying to continue his guided hunting business. Look, after 40 years in the game, I'd be quite happy to go and do something else, although I love the system. What I'd love to see is dozens or hundreds of other people managing deer as a resource on private landowners' properties. Once we've got this system in place, it can be extended into state forest areas as well. There can be a club or a group that actually has a lease, and they can be doing the same thing. There's nothing to stop that. But we've got to show we can do it on private freehold country first. To do that, the landowners need insurance. They need to feel comfortable. They need to know that they're not going to get sued at the drop of a hat from some claim that has no substance. They've got to trust hunters. That's what we're trying to put in place. The insurance, the system, and the ability for that landowner to make a dollar back out of those animals. Sustainable use management. Join with the majority now that want to see this hunting as a part of our culture, part of our heritage. We want to see it last forever. Pull your heads in and join in with us.